Heather Dewey Hagborg is combing the streets of New York City for the elements that will inspire her next piece of artwork. It doesn't take her long to find what she's looking for.
So this one looks pretty good because, first of all, it's been smoked all the way, which means that the person probably left the most possible saliva. And also, it doesn't look like it's been sitting out here too long. It looks like a relatively fresh sample.
And the fresher the saliva, the better. Dewey Hagborg wants the DNA it contains to use as the basis for portraits like this, a lifelike picture of the person who smoked the cigarette. She says her portraits bring art and science together to make a point about privacy.
I kept seeing these kind of genetic artifacts all over the place, you know, cigarette butts and chewing gum and hairs left on the subway and saliva left in glasses at the bar, and all of these things were just being left all over the place and no one was really noticing. And so that led me to thinking, how could I visualize somehow this kind of genetic privacy issue?
She does it with a process that begins with a sample cut into tiny pieces. The pieces are then treated with chemicals and processed in a centrifuge to extract a sample of DNA. This sample is then sent off to a lab where it's sequenced. It comes back as a genetic blueprint that Dewey Hagborg uses to construct her portraits. An ideal sample provides information about ethnic ancestry, gender, hair, and eye color, and more specific genetic traits like nose width and the distance between the eyes. Her findings are then entered into computer programs that generate a three-dimensional model of the face, which is then molded into a mask. She says the finished product will resemble the individual who initially smoked the cigarette, but will not be a perfect match.
So I think that where we're at with this kind of technology right now is you can get kind of a family resemblance or a general likeness to a person. So you could generate a model that might look like someone's cousin or a distant relative, but it's not going to look just like the person. And there's no way that you're going to recognize someone from one of these portraits.
Bioethicist Arthur Kaplan of the NYU School of Medicine says Dewey Hagborg's project in itself raises ethical questions. Kaplan says the artist is walking a fine line between artistic expression and invasion of privacy.
When artists get involved with DNA, we usually cut them a little slack and sort of say, well, they're trying to prod society or alert them to problems and so on. But there obviously is an ethics issue. If she really could make identifiable visual images of people anonymously, well, they didn't give consent to that. The closer she gets to hitting a particular image that is of a particular person, the harder it is to justify what she's doing.
Dewey Hagborg welcomes the criticism. She says if her project inspires a public debate about genetic profiling, she will have achieved her goal.